This is the most compact diamond farm in modded Minecraft. And it does it all without any trees. It's a very reliable machine, produces a constant supply of diamonds, and it all just works on 2 rotational power inputs and a bit of lava. This is the diamond engine. Hello, welcome back to a new video. My name is Ross and today I will show you this amazing machine right behind me, called the diamond engine. It's fully designed by me, and in today's video I will teach you how this system works, what kind of setups you can make and how to make it yourself. So let's get straight into it. This is the diamond farm, also known as the diamond engine, because it really looks like an engine as you can see. And this one is the smallest iteration you can make for a steady income of diamonds. Now before I'm gonna teach you how to make this system behind me, let's first look on how this system actually works exactly and how it produces diamonds without any trees. This machine exists out of a few components. We have the product machine on the top and we have the diamond conversion machine down here. Now this looks very complicated because it's very compact, but it's actually pretty easy. So let me show you how these components actually work. And for that I have laid out the components that you need to make this machine. And let's first start with the production of scoria. Now you probably saw the thumbnail and the title and it says that it doesn't use any trees. And you probably wonder, well, how do you get the coal to make diamonds? Because everybody knows that you need coal to make actually diamonds or produce diamonds in a farm. Now I use a mod pack that uses Create and a lot of other mods as well that makes this machine actually possible. And we need 2 mods for this. We need the Create mod, of course, but we also need Dreams and Desires, which is a really cool mod, gives you a lot of cool blocks, but also gives you the milkshakes. And these milkshakes are very important. Now if you look up the diamond recipe, you can see that you need 9 blocks of coal and a bit of lava in a basin with a press under a blaze or a heated blaze burner, and with that you get actually a diamond. So coal production is the thing that we really need. Now coal blocks are also made in a mechanical press in a basin made out of coal, which is obvious. So you need 9 coal to make 1 coal block. Coal can be made out of coal pieces. So if you have 8 coal pieces, you can make 1 coal. Now most people will use this recipe where you need an encased fan and a soul flame, and you use charcoal to make coal. And that's why you need 3 farms. But in this case, we can actually make coal out of coal pieces, and coal pieces can come from scoria. If you use crushing wheels and you drop scoria in it, you can get coal pieces. You get at least 1 coal piece and then 50% chance of a second one, 25% on a third one, 50% on a fourth one, and then cinder flour as a residue or a extra component out of this recipe. Cinder flour is really not that important. You can get it very easily in the nether, but with scoria, you can actually get coal through crushing wheels. Now the question is, how do we make scoria? The thing is, if you look up for a recipe, you will see that there is no recipe for scoria other than scoria with black dye, which we are not going to use. And here is where the Dreams and Desires mod comes into play. Because the Dreams and Desires mod actually gives you the recipe for scoria. And that's because of these milkshakes. You have a lot of milkshake types, but also hot chocolate. And what do you get with lava and with hot chocolate? You get scoria. So with this recipe, we can actually produce scoria, which in turn can become coal, and which in turn can become diamonds. And that's exactly what I did with this diamond engine. We have the scoria maker and the diamond producer. Now let's first look at the scoria maker. This is the scoria producer, and you probably recognize this system a little bit. Now if you are a little bit into the Create mod, you probably have heard of the cobblestone generator made by Our Creation, which is also a YouTuber. And I will link his channel down in the description. It's really hard to pinpoint who is exactly responsible for this design, but I found it from Our Creation. And it's a really nifty system. Now this system uses 2 banks. I will call this a bank that creates the scoria. We have 2 of them over here. Let's split it in half and look at one bank. This is one bank, or let's say a scoria farm or scoria maker. As you can see before, you need hot chocolate and you need lava. Now I made this out of clear glass so you can actually see how everything works. And it's very simple. So what is actually happening right here is that we have one lava pump that pumps all the lava into these pumps over here. Now hot chocolate cannot be waterlogged. It's not a water source, so you cannot waterlog it over here in these pumps. So you need it on the sides. So what happens is that the lava will flow downwards and hot chocolate will be from the right, and in this case from the left. And that will create scoria right here. But as you can see, these sills or sill frames are in the way. Now, why are these frames over here? On the other side, we have a contraption, a card assembler. This card assembler, basically what it does is it's glued to all these sills or these frames down here. So what will happen is that this assembler basically pushes it upwards, make it into an entity, and then basically it is not a block anymore, making it so the hot chocolate can actually flow and the lava can actually flow as well, creating scoria. When that happens, the card assembler will go back down, will be turned off, will make these sills back into an actual block and not an entity, and in turn will break all the scoria, which will be sucked up by these hoppers, which will push it into this item vault, which then will be distributed to all the crushers. Now that we have our scoria, we actually have to crush it down into coal, which happens with this system right here. This system is actually pretty easy and it is actually stackable. This system, as you can see, this is one slice. You can actually make it as long as you want. So that's really cool about this system. It's very compact and it's very easy to make. So what basically happens on this side, we have our input. This makes sure that everything can turn. So when scoria has been made, it will be taken out of the vaults and will be dropped down between these crushing wheels. Now these crushing wheels turns it into coal and some cinder flour. These coal pieces go into this item vault and the cinder flour will be spit out right here into lava. Now the coal pieces will be taken out and will be dropped into this basin. This basin will be turning it into coal, which then spits it out into this basin, which will then make it with these, of course, these mechanical presses will make it into coal blocks, which will spit out on this belt, which will get into this basin. And as you could see with the diamond recipe, you need coal blocks, 9 of them, as well as a little bit of lava and a blaze burner to make sure that these basins are heated, and that creates diamonds. And as you can see on the top, we have create, crafts and add-ons, which is also a mod that is very handy because normally blaze burners can actually not use lava as a fuel source, but with create, crafts and add-ons you can actually use lava as fuel source with these blaze burners. So it's a really nice mod to have. So you don't need any other fuel method for these blaze burners. With that said, if you're interested in the mod pack that I'm using, go over to my Patreon, because on my Patreon you will find the link to our mod pack, our Creatorholics mod pack, which have all these mods in the mod pack. The mod pack is free, so you can go down into the description and you can find the link right there. Okay, great. So now that we know the actual basics of this system, let's turn our attention to the actual machine that creates diamonds. And it's maybe interesting to know how many diamonds this machine makes, because, well, I imagine that's pretty important. You want to know how many diamonds this system actually makes. Now I will say that probably tree farms, especially if you have a really big tree farm, will create more diamonds than this system. The only downside with tree farms is that you have to wait for the trees to actually grow. And in this system, you don't need that. This system will always make scoria and will always produce diamonds. So you don't need a tree farm. As well as that, this machine is actually a very small footprint. It fits in a really small area, which is really cool. So let me tell you the power of this machine and its iterations. Because we have a few iterations, a bigger version, which of course makes more diamonds. This is the first version. The diamond engine with 2 banks. Again, these are called banks, or at least I call them banks. So we have scoria bank over here and one over here. Every bank is as big as a item vault, because, well, item vaults only have a maximum amount of size that you can make. After 6 blocks, you cannot make the item vault any bigger and it will start to make a new one. So this is a 6 by 2 and also over here a 6 by 2, which is 12 plus 12, which is 24 scoria that it produces almost every 3 seconds. But the rule is per bank you need at least one set of crushing wheels and basically one set that creates diamonds. We have 2 banks over here, and as you can see we have 2 diamond producers right below it. This machine with 2 banks creates about 102 diamonds per hour. This is also the contraption that I will show you how to make in a bit. But let's first look at the bigger sizes. Because this system is so easily stackable, you can actually make it longer. And as you can see, we have with this system 4 banks. We just enlarge it with another 2 banks on the back. So we have bank 1, bank 2, bank 3 and bank 4. Creating of course the double amount, which is 48 scoria per 3 seconds. For 4 banks you of course need 4 crushing wheels or systems right here, diamond producing systems. This system will produce of course the double amount, which is about 204 diamonds per hour. Now the cool thing is, as you can see, the system is actually not that big or bigger. It's only a little bit longer, but everything down here is still the same size. For the last iteration we have a double of this iteration, which has 8 banks. This one has 1 bank, 2 banks, 3 banks, 4 banks, 5 banks, 6 banks, 7 and 8 banks right here. And again, this system is actually not that much bigger. It is a little bit wider, as you can see, than the 4 banks version, but also the height is almost the same. It's only 2 blocks lower than the first one, as well as that it has the exact same length as that version over there. Yet this one produces the double amount of this version with 4 banks. This system makes about 342 diamonds per hour, or more or less about 57 to 60 diamonds per 10 minutes. So almost a stack per 10 minutes. So it's actually a pretty good system. All of these iterations only need 1 input of power over here and 1 on the top to spin the pumps, and also 1 lava source or pipe that actually pulls out the lava from a infinite lava pool. And just like that, you can make an insane amount of diamonds without any trees. Now, as I said, this video is a tutorial and I will teach you how to make the smallest version, which is this one over here with 2 banks. Now, if you don't have the patience to make it block by block, or you want these 2 versions, you can find them on my Patreon as well. There is a link down in the description. You can get the schematics of the 4 bank and the 8 bank version as well. Again, links to the schematic is down in the description. You can find them right there. But for now, let's make this version right here. We will start making this machine over here, which is the diamond producing machine. And after that, on top, we will make the banks. So let's start making this machine right here. We will start with the lowest part, which is these tubes. We need 2 fluid pipes next to each other like this. On top of that, there will be a blaze burner right here. Now this one will not connect. And again, I want to make sure that you need the right mods to make this thing happen. Just create is not enough. You do need the Dreams and Desires mod, as well as the Create, Crafts and Additions or Add-ons mod as well, because this one has straws, which you need to make this blaze burner connect to a fluid pipe, which then can use lava as a source of fuel. So when you press with a straw on here, as you can see, now this blaze burner is actually attached to this pipe over here. Above the blaze burner will be a basin. On the right side of the basin, we will place a andesite funnel going into this basin. Then we need a shaft next to this blaze burner and one next to it as well. And then we connect these 2 with a belt. Now next to this belt, we will also place a basin like this, which will get a spout like this, as you can see as soon as you place the basin right up here. Back to the fluid pipes, we need a fluid pipe going up, another one up, and then over the basin, because also the basin needs lava. Now this basin creates diamonds. And this basin only creates the coal blocks. So you have to put a block of coal in this filter, and in this basin's filter a diamond. On top of this andesite funnel we will place any type of block. It doesn't really matter which block, it only helps with containing the lava which will be in the block next to it, if you don't want to keep the cinder flour that this machine produces as well. Next to this block we will place another basin like this. That will get automatically a spout that goes into this basin right here. This basin will only create coal, so place a coal in its filter of this basin, which will only make coal that will drop into this basin, which will create coal blocks. On top of this block we will place an item vault, and this item vault can be longer and you can stack this system next to each other, but we will get back to that later. But on top of this block will be an item vault, and next to this item vault on the right side, above this basin right here, we will place a brass funnel. Now this brass funnel will only drop the coal pieces, so make sure you have coal pieces and not coal, but coal pieces, and put it in the filter of this brass funnel right here. And also place it on any, not on 64. So you make sure that it is on any amount. Now all these basins need mechanical presses, so next to this brass funnel we can place a mechanical press which will do everything that's in this basin, and on this basin we will also place a mechanical press right above it with one block space in between. So one over here and one over there. Now above this item vault we will place a smart chute. Nothing in this filter, just leave it like this. Next to this smart filter we will also place a mechanical press right next to it, which will then press everything down in this basin. So now every basin has a mechanical press like this. So now we have to place the crushing wheels, and that's a bit tricky, so the best thing to do is place some blocks on the back over here, so 3 blocks over here, and then you can place the crushing wheels right here, and that will crush everything down into this smart chute. And then you have to of course break all the blocks behind it like this. By doing that you can see that this filter activates, and now you can right click or hold it, and then you can put it on 64 or any. I would say just place it on any. That's good enough. Above these crushing wheels will also be a smart chute. So place a smart chute right above this, like over here. And then this smart chute's filter will be a scoria block. Later down the line we will make sure that this only spits out 64 and not any. But that we can only do when we have a funnel above this. And that's it. That is actually the whole diamond producing farm. It's actually really easy. So all it does is it crushes down the scoria, it throws it all in these basins, will in turn make the items that is needed to make diamonds, which is made over here. And the cool thing is, this is all in one block, as you can see. Of course not the pipes, but we will work on that later. But this is all in one block space. And we can just stack this. We can actually make this as long as we want. So for this machine, we actually need 2 of these machines right here. So the only thing you have to do is just simply make another layer of the exact same components in the exact same way right next to it. And that looks something like this. So we have just a second layer of the exact same system. Don't forget to put all the filters the right way, as well as that you make sure you give this blaze burner a straw, and also you don't really need any blocks over here. You only need it over here because you will block the lava, so you don't really need a block over here anymore. To get the scoria out of the item vaults that will be over here, we need some chutes, so some smart chutes. Best thing to do is just place a block on both of these smart chutes. One of these chutes will be on the left side and the other one on the right side like this. Break the middle blocks, put a brass funnel over here, and put a brass funnel on the other side. So one of these smart chutes will have the funnel facing the left side and the other one facing the right side. Doesn't really matter which one does which, but just make sure that it looks like this. These smart chutes should only drop out 64. So make sure that only these 2 chutes on top will be set to 64. And also these 2 brass funnels will also have the exact same make sure you have a scorcher block in these brass funnels and put them both on 64 as well. Now of course this system needs power, so we are going to one side and we are going to give everything power. Now all these mechanical presses only need power. It doesn't really matter which way it rotates as long as it has rotational power. But for example, these belts down here has to spin of course the right way, as well as the crushing wheels. They also have to spin the right way, otherwise it doesn't crush anything. So we have to make sure that these actually do the right thing and everything else can just be powered. So let's start from the top. The first thing that we are going to do is we use some gearboxes. We will place a gearbox on this crushing wheel and one on this one. And then we will have a chain drive right in the middle and we will extend that one like this. On this chain drive we will have a cogwheel on both sides. By putting in some power over here, you can see that they are spinning the wrong way. You can see that these cogwheels are actually spinning the wrong way. I have, of course, because I'm in creative, I have this creative motor, so I can just simply turn it around and now they're spinning the right way. So whenever you put power over here, make sure that it actually spins the right way. But of course, with a creative motor, it's a bit cheating, of course. But hey, I'm in creative, but if you make this in your own world, just make sure it spins the right way. And otherwise you just simply have to put another gearbox in between here and it will spin the other way. So that's really easy to fix. Now if we go a layer lower, we are going to place a gearbox over here on the left, right beneath this gearbox over here. Then we will connect a shaft right here. And on this side of the shaft, on the right side, we will place a vertical gearbox like this. Now of course all of that needs power as well, and we will get that from this gearbox right here. So what we are going to do is we are going to place a vertical gearbox onto this mechanical press, like so. Then we will switch it around and we'll place a gearbox, also a vertical gearbox like this. So make sure it's the right orientation. So one vertical gearbox like this, then we turn around and we place a vertical gearbox like this. And we place another vertical gearbox on top. And now you can see that everything spins. So this spins, as you can see. So all of these mechanical presses now, as you can see, have power, at least these two. And to give this one power, we simply place a vertical gearbox as well. And there you go. Now also this mechanical press has also power as well. Now some way we have to get all the power from up here down over here to these belts right here. To do that, we are going to use these chain drives. We will place a chain drive like this on the left side of the belt over here. And then on the right side of this chain drive, we will also place a chain drive. And the easiest way to do this, because we will actually make this one vertical, we actually have to break a little block, hold shift, look upwards and place a chain drive. As you can see, they are connected. They are connected to each other. That's the cool thing about chain drives. They can actually turn their rotation like this. And that's because we need this output right here. Place on top of this chain drive right here a cogwheel. And we will place one more next to it like this. And also we will place a cogwheel attached to this gearbox right here. These are for the mechanical pumps, which we will place later down the line. But first let's get power from up here all the way down here so that these belts can actually spin. And we are going to do this with a belt drive. So we are just going to place a shaft on this chain drive and we will place a shaft right up here. And then we will connect these two with a belt. So like this. And now you can see that this belt is spinning the right way, which is very important. It should spin from the right to the left into this basin right here. Also, this item fold right here will be filled up with cinder flour over time because there is a little chance that this system makes cinder flour as well next to coal pieces. So we have to make sure that we actually drain this item fold from its cinder flour, which we can do on this side over here. We will place a brass funnel because this one has a filter. And in this filter, we will place cinder flour and just any amount. Now you can choose to actually transport all the cinder flour, but it doesn't really make that much cinder flour. So it's probably really not that special or important. And I would consider to just drop it into lava, which we will do in this system as well. So make sure that the lava is actually closed in. So we maybe have to place a block over here and a block over here. And now we have a little gap over here, which we can actually place lava into, like so. And now everything, all the cinder flour will drop into this lava, will burn, and you get rid of it like this. Now the only thing left are the fluid pipes. And let's start from the bottom all the way to the top. And we will place a fluid pipe right here. So as you look from the top, it will be right over here, right in the middle. This is where your lava will be going through. So if you would make this in survival, make sure you actually have an infinite lava pool, or at least a lot of lava, because this machine eats lava. Alright, so we need one fluid pipe, then another one on top, and then a mechanical pump. And as you can see now, this is connected to this cogwheel right here. Make sure that it pumps upwards and not downwards. Make sure it goes upwards. You can see that by this little arrow. Then we use fluid pipes and we go all the way up till this point right here, this chain drive. Then we'll place a mechanical pump on either side, so one over here and one on the other side like this. And to make it fun, you can actually make one of these pipes into a little window so you can actually see the lava flowing through. Now these blaze burners and these basins also need lava, so we will connect this pipe up with this system right here, simply by placing a mechanical pump right here, which will spin to the right, so it has to be turned around like this, has to spin towards, of course, the basins and the blaze burners, and this pipe will be connected to this pipe right here, like this. As you can see, now everything is powered up, everything spins the right way, and now make sure that this machine actually works on its full speed, so 256 rotations per minute. If you don't do this, then your machine will clog up with the scorcher, because the scorcher generator makes more scorcher than this machine can handle. Make sure that you have enough power. And that's it. That's the whole diamond producing machine that will crush down the scorcher into diamonds. Now we only need the scorcher generators, which looks like this. So let's start making this system. We will start with some fluid pipes, and the first thing that we do is we place fluid pipe on the left side over here and on the right side over here like this, and then go upwards like so. On top of these fluid pipes we will place two fluid tanks on either side like so, and then two fluid pipes on top like this. This bottom fluid pipe right here, that will be encased with a copper casing. So if you have a copper casing, you can just right click on it. And as you can see now, this fluid pipe actually goes through the copper casing. This is to prevent that scorcher gets stuck over here on this little ledge. So for that, we actually need a copper casing. So place one on these two pipes right here. We'll leave it like this for now, and we go to the item vaults. We will place one item vault over here, one next to it, and two below. And when you do this like this, you can see it's now all connected and one big item vault. And we will make this one 5 blocks long, or the max length of an item vault of 2 by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and probably 6. Sorry, it's 6. 7 is too long. As you can see, with 7 it creates a new item vault. These two are not connected. So 6 is the max length that we can do. So make sure that you have two item vaults that actually are 6 blocks long. And we will do this on this side as well, like this. Now you can see that these brass funnels are actually connected to both of the item vaults. One is connected to this item vault and the other one is connected to this item vault. On top of these item vaults, we will place hoppers facing down into these item vaults on the full length. And we'll do this on both sides, like so. On top, we will place these windmill sail frames. So hold shift and place them like so all the way over, like this, all on top of these hoppers. And we of course do this on both sides, like this. Then we use some super glue and we glue all these sails together, just the sails. Make sure you don't glue anything else, just the sails. Also don't glue them together, just as two separate sets of sails like this. So we have one set of sails glued like this, and the other one over here is also glued like this. On top of these sails we will place the pumps. We need mechanical pumps facing downwards on top of these sails. They have to point downwards. Make sure that they all point downwards. So hold shift and place all the mechanical pumps right on top of all of these sills like this. Then we are going to connect this pipe to all of these mechanical pumps. So this pipe goes over like this, and we just connect all of these mechanical pumps, and we do this on this side as well. Do not connect them between each other, just to like this. It should look like this if you do that right. Now what we are going to do is actually connect these two group of sills together. And we are going to do this with a system that will be on the outside of the engine that will also be connected to the minecart contraption. We have to make this outside of the system, otherwise of course we will have leakage of, for example, lava or the hot chocolate. So that's why we have to make it on the outside. What we're going to do, you can use any blocks. I will just use some solid block industrial iron because it just looks really cool. But you can really use any other block as long as it's a solid block, just because it looks cool. You can make this thing look really cool. So yeah, that's your own artistic choice what block you use. Anyway, we will place a block attached to this sill and one over here, and then we will connect them on the bottom like this. So we have like a little U shape like this. Then in the middle we go 2 blocks down and we'll break this block right here. So we have a block over here. On this block we will have the minecart contraption that will then be connected to this U shape. Now we use the super glue and we glue this sill or this group of sill together with this block, and we glue this block downwards like this. Make sure you don't glue anything else. Of course we do this on the other side as well. So glue this group of sills to this block and this block downwards, and then this block all the way to the other side, and now everything is nicely glued without touching any of the other components around it. Now for the minecart contraption you need this cart assembler. First we have to place a rail facing this way. Make sure that it faces this way. Then we place a cart assembler right on top of that, and as you can see now we have this red dot over here on the outside. So make sure that it actually faces like this. Then place a cart right in this system like this. And now this cart assembler is actually attached to this U shape. For now, let's go to one of the very last steps, which is actually placing the hot chocolate. To make it easier for you to see what I'm doing, I will use clear glass, but you can again use any other block you want to make this thing look cool. I will just use clear glass so you actually see what I'm doing. First, we will place any type of block, in this case clear glass, over here in a T shape right here. Then on either side of the machine we'll make like a little box where the hot chocolate can be in. So place clear glass over here, down, and another one down, and then go all the way to the other side like so. And we place one outwards like this and go up by 2 blocks as well. And then go out and go to the other side, and now we have like a nice little place where we can place the hot chocolate. So make sure you have the hot chocolate bucket and not the chocolate milkshake bucket or something like that. You really need the hot chocolate bucket. And we will place full sources of chocolate right here on every single space next to these sills like this. And we will top this off with glass as well, or any blocks of your choosing. Of course, what we do over here will also be done on the other side. So if you did that correctly, it should now look like this. And now we only need to place the hot chocolate right in the middle. To place the last hot chocolate, it's pretty easy. We go through the middle and we place glass attached to this block. So on the level of these hoppers, place glass or any other block of your choosing. Place a row like this, and of course we will connect it so that we don't have any spills of the scorcher, because sometimes it can get stuck on these little edges, for example. So make sure that you block these hoppers as well. And of course we'll place another row of glass, and now we can actually place the hot chocolate right in the middle like this, and it won't spill anywhere else. Now we place another row of glass, and we can also place a row of glass right on top of this machine like this. Now the only thing is, these pumps also have to spin. To make this happen, you also need a power input from the top. It's really easy because you only need a cogwheel somewhere in between the 2 banks like this, and now it's connected, and this cogwheel should be powered as well. And for now I will use again and creative motor. It doesn't really matter which way it spins, as long as all these pumps face downwards. Make sure you block everything else with glass or any other block you use, and there you go. This system is actually done. Also, these mechanical pumps, they don't need that much power. Even 1 rotation per minute is more than enough to make this system work. And there you go, you made the diamond engine. And it looks absolutely amazing. I really love how this thing looks, and you can make it look so cool with really cool creative blocks and make this thing actually part of your build instead of hiding it somewhere. It is really cool. But we're not done yet. The only thing that we need is a clock to make this thing actually work. And also we need lava. But let's first make the actual redstone clock. To make it simple, I will make the redstone clock right in front of it. But you can also make the redstone clock somewhere else and then get the redstone line and connect it to this card assembler. So let's make a little platform where we can actually make this redstone clock. You need a 5x2 area, and we will place redstone like a U shape like this. Then we need a pulse extender. Then we need a pulse repeater in the middle, and we need a pulse extender again, like this. The first pulse extender should be placed on 2 ticks. The pulse repeater next to it should also be placed on 2 ticks. And the last pulse extender should actually be placed on 40 ticks. Now all you need to do to make this clock work is go to the first pulse extender and right click on it so it's in active mode. That's all you have to do to make this clock work. So just right click on this one and there you go. This is now the clock that will spin, and make sure that this card assembler has just enough time to make scoria and then break it down, and there you go. It's really easy, and that's the whole clock that you need to make this thing work. All you have to do is connect this redstone piece to this redstone piece, and that should actually start this whole machine. Now, of course, we cannot make scoria yet because we don't have any lava. So let's not start this machine yet, and let's first get this machine some lava. So I have regenerative lava on that will kinda work as a infinite lava source. So in your survival world, you actually need a bottomless supply, but in this case, I have a setting on that can make it regenerative like water does. So let's place lava over here, and that will make a source block. And now you can see that lava gets pumped through the whole system. These basins will be filled up with lava, as you can see. These blaze burners will also start to get lava. This one gets lava a little bit later. And also these fluid tanks will start to fill up. Now it's very important that these fluid tanks fill up first. So give it some 5 minutes to make sure that everything is filled up with lava before you actually start this machine. Otherwise, it can actually pump out the lava and not work correctly. So make sure that these fluid tanks are completely filled with lava and that the lava is all the way through all of these pipes. Now, while we're waiting for this lava to fill up, again, if you want the bigger version, the versions right over there, which are just twice as big or even 4 times as big, you can find those versions on my Patreon. Down in the description, you will find the link. Over there, you can find the actual schematics of all of these 3 versions. And of course also the mod pack that makes this machine actually possible. Now that this machine is actually filled up with lava, we can actually start this machine, this diamond engine. So let's get our redstone dust and let's place it. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And there you go. It makes scoria. And it breaks it, and it works absolutely perfect. And as you can see, it gives enough time just to make scoria, and it breaks it down, and it goes all the way down into these item vaults until it reaches 64. And when it is 1 stack, it will be dropped down into these. There you go. As you can see, will go down into these smart chutes, will be completely crushed down into coal pieces, which will then be hammered down into coal blocks, and later down the line it will create diamonds. And there you go, the most compact diamond generator that doesn't use any tree farm. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really happy how this machine turned out. It was a lot of work to make this thing. Actually, I'm not a redstone guy. I'm really not that good at making these kind of contraptions, but I'm really happy on how this thing turned out and also how small this thing actually is. Even for the big one right here, it's actually pretty small. Now this is probably not the smallest. I know that someone out there can probably make it even smaller and even more compact. I would like to see what other people can do with this machine and make different iterations out of it. That would be incredibly cool to see. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope it was a little bit educational and also you could follow along. And also a massive thank you to all the channel members and of course the Patreon members. It really helps me out with making these videos and actually maintaining the channel. So really thank you very, very much. If you're new here and this is the first video you watch of my channel, go check out my channel. I have a lot of really cool videos on how to build really cool stuff, as well as our Creatorholic server with a lot of really cool creators as well. So go check it out. Of course, consider to subscribe. It helps me really out a lot. You don't have to become a member or a Patreon member if you don't want to, but just subscribing helps me out a lot as well. Thank you so much for watching and I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.